Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the Sunday services at Center for Spiritual Living, Denver. We are a loving and prospering community in the heart of Denver and online. We now conduct hybrid services at the historic Grant Avenue Community Center and Sacred Place, located at 216 South Grant Street, Denver, Colorado. All are welcomed here. A place, space, and face of love. We are a spiritual community practicing universal principles that enrich our lives. We are grateful that you have blessed us with your presence. While online, we'd love to know you're watching with us. Feel free to leave a comment and let everyone appreciate you. With everything going on, life can feel overwhelming. CSL Denver wants you to know we are here for you. Please know that our practitioners are available for personal prayer work. Our licensed spiritual practitioners' names and phone numbers are available on our website at csldenver.org. Or if you have a prayer request, feel free to email it to info@csldenver.org. For your convenience, you'll find clickable links in the description of this broadcast. Rev L. Zia, along with all our guest speakers, practitioners, service coordinators, and musical inspirations, want you to know how truly grateful we are that you are with us today. Thank you for your continued support and participation in our services, workshops, and events, as well as providing financial contributions to our center. If you're interested in upcoming events and information, we send out weekly newsletters. Sign up by visiting www.csldenver.org. We deliver services in a hybrid format where we meet in person at 216 South Grant Street. We will also continue to live stream all services on Facebook and YouTube every Sunday. Find us on our respective channels as well as on New Thought Media Network. Again, thank you for your precious attention. Now prepare for engaging enlightenment.
There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden where God's grace blooms. There is a garden where everything grows, a beautiful garden where love is sown. And in this place of light and love, you can have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is you. light and love. You can't have anything that you're dreaming of. There is a garden where dreams come true, a beautiful garden. That garden is you. Such a beautiful garden. That garden is you.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Denver. It's wonderful to see all of the familiar faces back and some new people. Thank you. Welcome to our center. And some people we haven't seen for a while. Thank you and welcome back. We're glad to see you again. My name's Tim Hancock, and I'm a practitioner here at Center for Spiritual Living Denver. And I invite you to get settled into your seat and close your eyes and center into the oneness of the divine. Take a breath. Allow that breath to flow in, through, and around you, just as the divine flows in, through, and around you. Just as the love of the universe flows in, through, and around you. And as we sit and we breathe the love, we know that this service is blessed. We know that the words of Reverend Paula is blessed, as well as my reading, as well as the music, and all of the technology and people who help set up, as well as Diego, who is clear up in Oregon, running our program. So as we settle into the oneness that we are, into the love that we are, we just simply receive these loving words of Reverend Paula, the loving essence of this service, and know that all is good. And so it is. And today is trusting the process in the midst of uncertainty. And so my reading today has four parts to it. And the first part is that in order to trust that process, could I have that slide, please, Diego? You need to shift your focus from fact to truth. Facts change, truth remains. The temporary chaotic condition is just a passing fact. The permanent truth that is infinite, the permanent truth is that infinite intelligence is always working for your good. Deny power to appearances. Do not let the current visual confusion dictate your inner peace. Secondly, understand the law of cause and effect. Thought is the only creator. Your current circumstance are past thoughts made visible. Change your mind, change your life. To fix uncertainty, you must anchor your mind on certainty, order, and abundance right now. The universe reflects your belief. If you focus on fear, the spiritual law must return more chaotic situations to you. Thirdly, practice absolute resilience of the divine, on the divine. The universe knows the way. You do not need to figure out the human how of your situation. Surrender the outcome, state your desire for harmony, and then step out of the way to let the divine law execute it. Good is your birthright. Trust that the fundamental nature of the universe is entirely for you and never against you. And fourth, speak with authority. And this is referring to the spiritual mind treatment that we use here with religious science. Turn entirely away from the problem. Look only at the perfect divine solution. Argue for your success. Mentally insist that order, peace, and clarity are present right here and right now. Accept the result in advance. End your mental prayer by completely releasing doubt, knowing that the work is already done. And from our founder, Ernest Holmes, we need to know with scientific certainty that there is a consciousness and a power in the universe that responds to us definitely, directly, and dynamically. Each individual must arrive at a place in his own consciousness where contact is so immediate and so dynamic that if every other living soul denied it, he would still know. And now we move into our music with Susan Clark.
CSL Denver. Hope you're having a great day. My name is Susan Clark. I'm here to provide some music for your service. Today I'm going to sing a song for you that was written by Faith Rivera, and it's called I Am a Child of This Universe. Child of this universe, the ocean dances at my feet, the wind plays a melody through my hair, I am loved at every turn, I am kissed by Mother Earth, I am a child of this universe. The sun warms me in its embrace. The stars have aligned for me in the sky. I am honored by all life. I am held by Father Time. Every blade of grass, every shaking leaf on a tree, every mountain top sings of the glory of God moving through me, moving through you. I am a child of this universe. Through my hands all of life can breathe. I plant the seeds with my every dream. I can love at every turn. Give a kiss to Mother Earth. Yes, I am a child of this universe. I greet the God in each face. I am a channel for peace to flow. Oh, I honor all of life. Yes, I'm one with Father Time.
good morning. It is so good to be here with you. You know, I came here to Colorado 20 years ago. 20 years ago. I had a lot fewer wisdom lines, maybe a little bit fewer smiles, but it's so good to see you all. And as I look around here and I see people that I have grown up with spiritually, and especially my beloved Z back there, he and I went through seminary together, and boy, did we see each other have the school of hard knocks at moments, right? And there were also some very uplifting things that somehow carried us through, and here we are 20 years later, still doing ministry. And that's a good thing, because there's a lot of uncertainty in ministry. There really is. In most traditions, not just Centers for Spiritual Living, 5 years is often the maximum amount of time that a minister stays in the ministry. 5 years. And here, Z and I, we're still here with you. Why? Because I think the difference is in those uncertain times, we can look to you, our spiritual community, and we can remember. So it's never that we're just growing you. You are every bit as much growing us. And that's what carries me through those moments of uncertainty. And I don't know about you, but have you ever found yourself just so full of faith where you absolutely knew God had you, that you lived and moved and had your very being in God? And then ding, 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 here comes that little doubt and little uncertainty over here. And you say, how can that be? How can that be? How can I be so close to God and still have doubts and uncertainty? Well, because you're here and you're a human being. So today's message is trusting the process in the midst of uncertainty. Now, it's easy to do when things are going our way, isn't it? But what about when they're not? That's when the call comes. So the next time you have uncertainty creeping in or doubt knocking on your door, I want you to remember there's the call. There's the call right there. So remember what Emma Curtis Hopkins taught us. She was the teacher of teachers in New Thought. And she taught us that the shadow of our doubt is only as big as the pillar of faith that casts that doubt. Now that turns it around, doesn't it? Right? That shadow's big because your pillar of faith is big. So that doubt, that uncertainty is call. It's a call. It's knocking at your door. God is actually inviting us from deep within our recesses, our very being, come closer. Come closer. You think you're close now? Come closer. You know, it's interesting if you look to scripture, and especially from a metaphysical understanding, right before Jesus ascended into heaven, many of his disciples saw him, right? And there are recounts. I think there are 13 appearances after the resurrection before Jesus ascended into heaven. And right before he gave his great commission, go, spread, heal the sick, make the lame walk, raise the dead. And we understand those from a very different metaphysical idea, right? We might not be able to call a corpse from the grave. But I tell you what, this community has many times brought me back to life. And so I appreciate that. That's the kind of commission that we've been given. Jesus called forth and said, you will do these works and greater still than I. Because Jesus understood we were all the light of the world. And we are. But right before he gave that commission of going out there and waking people up, there's a little verse that most people miss. And this is from Matthew 28, 16 through 17. Then the 11 disciples left for Galilee, going to the mountain where Jesus had told them to go. When they saw him, they worshiped him, but some of them, ready, doubted. And I think so many times, particularly we religious scientists, we just bleep right over that idea of doubt. Oh, I don't have doubt. I am never uncertain. God is all there is. I see God in everything and everyone. Yeah, until you don't. Yeah. And that does happen if we're honest with ourselves. I don't know about you, but I have so much trouble with governmental leadership. Where is God in that? And I'm still trying to see that. And yet, there's the knock. There's the call. You think you believe in me within you? Come closer. Let me show you something else. Can you see me and you in this? There's the call. So there was this shaman, this great shaman, and he had this great thing to say about doubt. He says to a man we'll call George. George was always doubting himself, always wondering if he's doing the right thing. And I know no one here has ever wondered if you're doing the right thing. I have had lots of examples of that even in the last 24 hours. Okay, this is what the shaman told him. I want you to take this in. Everything you are doing is the right thing. You need to stop doubting yourself. Stop doubting your goodness. When you stop doubting yourself, the pain will be gone. Follow your path and keep pursuing goodness, and your goodness shall spread to everyone around you because you can't keep it to yourself. That's what Jesus the Christ was telling us. You will do these works and greater still than I. Why? Because each and every one of you is the light of the world. In your most uncertain moment, you are still the divine light of God shining through your very being. I don't care how many wrinkles we get. I don't care how many aches and pains we have in our shoulders and our knees and for me, it's my hips always talking to me, although they've been getting a little quieter lately, and I'm grateful for that. No matter what the circumstance, we are still the light of the world every moment and every breath. So sometimes I feel full of faith. I sit down on my little cushion, start doing my spiritual practice, and all of a sudden, I'm not so sure. Now, each week at the Colorado Mental State Hospital here in Fort Logan, I'm the clinical chaplain there, I do a service. And I tell these people every week, God lives within you. God is the truth of your being. And then some moments I walk away and I go, who was that talking up there? I mean, you really believe that? There's that knock. There's the call, right? So why don't I feel God all the time? Why do I feel like God hasn't answered my prayer? Right? Because bad things are happening. Because that scary stuff out there seems real. It seems like there are people that have totally forgotten to care about fellow human beings. It's scary and lonely when we feel that way. But the invitation is always to open the door of our heart and let God out and let God in. Because it's both within us and without us, if we can only see and hear it. And when we start to doubt or have those uncertainties rise up, we start to question things, don't we? We start to say, hey, I don't know that God is in everything. Maybe God is in everything but this. Maybe God is in everyone but that person, right? I don't know. Am I the only one that ever has that? I've stopped watching the news nearly like I used to because I go, really? I don't see God in you. Some people leave their spiritual path not because God isn't good, but because they have questions they can't answer. Because they have doubts they can't find meaning to. But I want to invite you today that you can doubt with me. You can be uncertain with me. We can doubt together. You willing to do that? Yeah, right. Because you see, your spiritual community and your minister should be the safest place to doubt and ask questions, not the scariest. And sometimes it's not. Sometimes we get filled with doubt because we have questions that we can't answer. We have situation that seems unfair, or we have hurt we can't resolve. And that happens. Some religious scientists say, I'm not going to bend. And they're like, God is all there is. And then they're going to just fall over and clunk, right? We've got to be able to bend. We've got to be able to say, God is all there is. And right now in this moment, I'm having trouble finding God. And the second we say that, I promise you that if you look closer still, God's going to show up. Why? Because God's already there, because you're there. Because God is the place where you show up, and God shows up where you are. You know, it's hard. Sometimes good religious scientists leave because a spiritual leader might fall. And that happens sometimes. Sometimes we just expect so much from our spiritual leaders, don't we? Sometimes we think they'll never be uncertain about things. They're never going to make a mistake. They're never going to leave a marriage. They're never going to hurt someone. They're never going to do something that was really out of character. But guess what? Everyone here is a minister. And we all make bad choices sometimes. And that's when we got to remember, who are we really ministering to and for? I don't know about you, but I get to minister to the face of God every day. And I have faces of God that a lot of people have not tried to see God in a long time. They may be so deep in their psychosis that people go, oh, that person is just scary. And I want to go in there and I want to look right in those eyes and go, there you are. There you are, God. There you are. And that's a gift, right? So ministers make mistakes just like anyone else. And since we're all ministers here, I mean, that's what religious science calls us to be, all practitioners, right? Ernest Holmes taught us that if you don't believe these principles, try it for yourself. You know, I'm going to say these things anyway, but the only way you're going to know and prove the principle is if you try it on, right? Prayer works as we believe, as we believe. Not how we want to believe, as we believe. And sometimes it's hard when something bad happens and we get uncertain about that. Why did that happen? What if we could again think of that as a knock on the door, a call? Come closer. Come closer. You think you believe? Well, come closer. Come take a look at this. You see, doubts handled properly can actually lead us to a much deeper and grander faith. They can be a catalyst to make us wake up at a more wide awake level. Your doubts don't have to take you away from God. Your doubts can actually bring you closer to God. Why is that? Don't you feel alone when you're doubting? When you feel uncertainty, don't you feel kind of closed in? Well, guess what you're going to find when you close in on yourself? God. Sometimes that's when we find God the most. When we're deep in pain, and we close in, we close everything else out, and we go inside, and there God is. There God is. Your faith is a journey. It's not a destination. The strongest faith is not a faith that doesn't doubt or experience uncertainty. The strongest faith is a faith that grows through your doubts. You remember the story of doubting Thomas, right? And we call sometimes when people they don't have faith, doubting Thomas. And I remember in early ministry that was also a term we would say about certain members in the community that didn't seem to demonstrate their faith. Well, just a doubting Thomas. And I promise you, anyone that uses that term has had a whole lot of doubts themselves, because they can't see it in you if they don't have it in themselves. So remember that next time someone says that. But this is what Scripture tells us. They told him, "We have seen the Lord." But he replied, "I won't believe it unless I see the nail wounds in his hands, put my fingers into them, kind of gross, and place my hand into the wound on his side. You see, Thomas is kind of getting a bad rap, though. I think. You see, Thomas is the disciple who stands for the faculty of understanding. Our brothers and sisters in unity talk about that. They're one of our new thought faith traditions that are very close in thinking to Centers for Spiritual Living. In fact, we now have a reciprocal understanding with our ministers. You can go through the CSL training and education, and you can go through unity, and you can actually apply for minister positions in either faith. Wow, that took a lot of faith to have that happen, right? Because I think for a while we doubted that somehow they won't be a good religious scientist anymore. Have you seen Michael Gott? LZ and I went to school with Michael Gott, and he is the senior minister of Unity of Houston. And Houston is where I grew up, and Houston is where Z has spent much of his time, and is the largest Unity church in the world. And he took over from Howard Caesar, and Howard Caesar knew his ministry was good without a doubt when someone asked him where he was a minister. He was doing speaking engagements after he retired and Michael Gott had taken over. And so someone said to him, well, where do you do ministry? And he said, oh, I was the minister at Unity of Houston. They go, oh, Reverend Michael Gott's church. And he said for a moment, it was like, and then he was like, I've done well, you know? Because he was there for a long, long time. And this was probably 6 years into Michael Gott's ministry there. So when we have left a legacy like that, we can remember, I've done well. Even when I had doubts, I've done well. We can look at the people who follow us. And most of us in this room have been around long enough that we do have people that are following in our footsteps, right? Whether it's relatives or otherwise. And we can look to them and say, yeah, they're pretty amazing. And I've done well. God as me has done well here. God as me has blessed this community. God as me has lit a fire in another person who didn't believe it was there. That's trusting the process. That is understanding that God really is all there is. You see, Thomas didn't always have spiritual understanding, but he wanted to learn. He didn't mind asking questions. He listened to Jesus's answer. But Thomas is probably best known for doubting the news of the resurrection. I don't know about you. I still doubt the whole idea of this resurrection. I just do. I just do. At a corporeal level, did that guy really get up off that stone and walk out of that tomb? We don't even know for a fact, if you look historically, if there was a tomb, because he was poor. He didn't have any money. And then they say, well, this guy gave it to him. And there's just lots of things that point to maybe it happened and maybe it didn't. But here's the deal. Did you wake up today? You resurrected. You resurrected. I resurrected. You know, Rumi and I both experienced pneumonia recently. And when you're having the experience of pneumonia, you forget that the breath of God is breathing you. I struggled with that. Did you, Rumi, have a little? Yeah. It was like, really, you're breathing me right now because I'm not feeling the breath. I'm pretty sure there's no oxygen going through my system right now. Right? But as we heal, we began to reveal that breath again. We began to reveal that the very breath of God is what is breathing us. I believe that the breath of God is that which breathes us after we take our last breath. And I've watched a lot of people do that. I was blessed as a hospice chaplain for many years. I got to see that last breath. And I think the next breath was wherever their greater yet to be was, or is, or shall be. Who knows how long between the and the that is? I don't know. I just trust. I trust. I know that in that moment of uncertainty, when someone is dying, I know that those have been the times or in my deepest doubt about, is this all there is? That breath they let go of is my very hope that lifts me up. It is the very thing that brings me out of that doubt. So we resurrect every day. We resurrect when we get over an illness. We resurrect when we begin to see ourselves as the divine within us sees us. Maybe we're different than other people. Maybe we express in a way that is very unique. When we wake up to that, accept that, and love that into being, then we are trusting that process to reveal itself and express itself in the world as us. Damn the uncertainty. Yes. Charles Fillmore taught us this. The awakening of our own faculty of understanding starts with questioning the old ways of thinking that may have been taken for granted. So yeah, it's okay to let go of things you believed strongly before. There's something greater still to believe. And the doubting Thomas, that particular disciple, is the one that represents our doubt and uncertainty, trusting the process and becoming strong faith. It is that pillar of faith that casts that very big shadow of doubt. 8 days after Thomas doubted Jesus resurrecting, Thomas shows back up again. Even with his doubts, he shows up. He shows back up. How many of us show back up here? You come again and again. You just keep showing up. Connie's smiling because that's one of the things we say to students when we're teaching them these wonderful principles of science of mind. And they show up, they're saying, I don't know about this thing, this treatment thing. I just don't know. I'm not having any results. And we just say, keep showing up. Come to the next class. Just keep showing up. And I invite you that. You're having doubt, you're having uncertainty, keep showing up. You see, sitting on that cushion every day and doing our spiritual practice isn't for the days where we go, whoa, and we have this wonderful, wonderful epiphany. It is for all the days we don't have that. That's why they call it a practice. It's something we have to engage in on a continuous basis. So Jesus sees Thomas there with all of his uncertainty. He says, hey, come here, touch my wounds. There. Here's my son. Yeah, go for it. What's interesting, I love that metaphor, because the idea is that's when he was filled with faith. When he touched the wounds of another. One of the blessings in my ministry is I touch the wounds of another every day. I work with people that are deeply psychotic, deeply delusional, or at least that's what we call them. They're hurting, they're suffering, and I go with them into that pain. I touch that wound. As gross as that might sound, that's my job, that's my mission, that's my whole reason for being. And in that, my faith is relit, reignited. I come alive again and recognize that I am touching God. In the midst of their pain, there is God. My dad was a great baseball coach. You've heard me talk about my dad before here. My dad was a great guy, made it to 95, and it was one of my greatest teachers. Really love him still. And he was a great baseball coach, and he worked with young men and women, but he really loved Little League and teaching the kids that were my brother's age, and they were about 12, 13. Now, that's a very important age for young men and women, right? Because that's when we're beginning to have those uncertainties. All those hormones are pouring into our body. Boy, we miss them now. And so those begin to pour in, and we don't know what to do, right? Our body's growing faster than we can absolutely understand it or understand where it ends and other things begin. And that's why I think teenagers get a little gropey. But anyway, there was this one young man named Jerry Garcia. I'll still always see Jerry's face. And he was a pretty good ball player, right? But he had this thing. He just would get so nervous when he went up to bat that he'd strike out. And my dad had seen him in practice. He'd do fine, but get him in a game, and he'd just, hesitate and not swing at the ball. It would go by into the glove of the catcher, and guess what? He'd strike out. So my dad watched him in practice and watched him at games, and he says, "Jerry, come here," right before he's on deck. He's about to go hit, or at least try. And he says, "Come here. I want you, the first ball that pitcher throws, I want you to swing at it." What if it's not a good ball? And he says, "I want you to swing at it no matter what." So Jerry walks up there and he swings at it. He misses, but then he watches and he swings at the next one and got a hit because he let go of a fear of acting. He let go of that uncertainty of what if I don't hit it or I strike out? He just went for it. My dad could see that in him. And my dad pointed to his wound. You think you can't do it. You're afraid. You're doubtful. He touched it, and then he touched the ball. Isn't that amazing? In the depths of our uncertainty, that's where we touch God. So let's remember what the shaman tells us and teaches us. And this is my message to you. You need to stop doubting yourself. Stop doubting your goodness. When you stop doubting yourself, the pain will be gone. Follow your path and keep pursuing goodness, and your goodness shall spread to everyone, because you can't keep it to yourself. Amen. Let us pray. Okay, all right, I'm going to pray. All right. So all you doubters, join me. If you've got any uncertainty, let's go to prayer right now with that. In this moment, I open my heart and I remember that God is now. God is this moment. God is this breath. God is my resurrection this morning. God is always in the doubt. God is always in the uncertainty. God is that which brings us closer to itself in the doubt. And God is the very life within us that chooses to express at a greater and greater level. And I know this truth for myself, and I know this truth for each and every one within the sound of my voice and those we hold dear. God is. And so in this moment, I simply invite all of us to lay uncertainty at the feet, metaphor here, of God. Just lay it down. And also, I invite us in this moment to hold that doubt, that uncertainty with care. For in this moment, I proclaim for each and every one of us that uncertainty is the call. Doubt is the knock at the door. Come closer. Dear God, right now, God within us, we come closer. In the doubt, in the uncertainty, we are here. We keep showing up now, today, in each and every moment. And so uncertainty, be damned. Doubt, you're calling us closer. God is all there is. I proclaim this now. In the midst of all that looks unlike God, God is there. And I know that God shows up in our life. God shows up in relationship. God is showing up in our health and our well-being. God is showing up right now in life as each of us. Just knowing this is a breath of life. And so I give great thanks. Right in this moment, I give great thanks for the power of prayer to transform our minds to that which is God, that which we truly are. So I release this word now into that law of mind, that law of love, into God's hands now. I simply let it be. And we affirm this together by saying, and so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Dr. Paula. Powerful talk. Okay, now it's time for our offertory. We are so grateful and blessed for everyone's support of CSL Denver, whether it's in time, treasure, or talent. And especially during these times, as Reverend Paula pointed out, that, what's going on. In these times of uncertainty, whether this is your first time joining us or you are a returning community member, please know that we want to thank you for your continuing support for CSL Denver. It's very important to us and very important for you to hold that in your heart. And right now, there are several ways that you can make your financial contributions to Center for Spiritual Living Denver, and this information is running across the bottom of the screen. You can go to our website and click on the donate button, or do the old-fashioned way and write a check and send it to us to our P.O. box, or you can do the text to give number, or as Tim is passing around the plate, you can put some money in there. So however you do it, we are so grateful for all that you choose to share with us. So please repeat with me. If you want to put your hands over your heart and just absolutely feel that breath of God. This perfect gift is spirit in form, circulating and blessing all that it touches. Freely I give and joyously I receive. And so it is. Amen. Okay, we've got a few announcements. We still have a few Science of Mind magazines, May, June, and so we have June going. So there's a couple of them over there for sale for $10. That's a bi-monthly magazine. And we also have several older ones that are free to take. So if you want to do some spiritual reading, just please help yourself to that. And then also we have our next community cafe we always have our community cafe on the 4th Sunday of every month. And that's where we keep the tables up, have the chairs, people bring in dishes to share and friends and all of that. And I will be doing a piece on about the summer solstice and the importance of ritual in our lives. And our Curiosity Corner, we have that on the back table. The table over to the right is our bargain basement. Everything on that table is $1. Everything over here, there's a price sheet, nothing more than $3. And we've got some Science of Mind books and just all kinds of things. Please take them home because I don't want them in my house anymore. I usually have duplicates, so that's not a problem. So we are so blessed to have New Thought Media Network and Diego as our Sunday service producer. We invite you to go to www.ntmedia.org and check out what they have. They have something for everybody. They've got radio shows, they've got talk shows. Reverend Z and Dr. Robert do a podcast at 2 o'clock on Tuesdays and on Friday mornings at 7 a.m. if you choose to get up that early. And they're great, just having conversations, and it's all about, just having some spiritual conversations. And we are so truly blessed by everyone who has chosen to support CSL Denver by showing up on Sundays or watching our services online. We know that as we move through the rest of this year, the Divine Beloved is guiding and loving each and every one of us. Thank you for joining us. And let's close out with Karen Drucker singing I Am So Grateful. Please join us.
Hey, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for all that. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.